Welcome back to Daytime. Susan Freeman is the author of Step Up Now, 21 Powerful Principles for People Who Influence Others. And she's here to explain the secrets of how to influence people. Good to have you here.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much.
So what is unique about this book?
I think what makes the book unique is it's the first time that we've an integrative model for learning the true secrets of influence. You see, research has shown that 93% of what influences people does not come from the words that we speak.
All right.
It comes from the moods and emotions and the way in which we hold those in our bodies. And so where in the true secrets of influence and where leadership truly lives is in that 93%, the part that most leadership training leaves out.
Not the part that most leadership training leaves out, which is why this should be important to people?
People should care because they spend a lot of time and money learning about how to be better influencers, how to get people to do what they need them to do, and also looking at what are the costs in terms of what happens when we don't influence people effectively. And we've seen there's been rising costs to employee stress, rising costs of healthcare, rising costs of employee absenteeism, workplace programs to reduce stress. I think the number is about $300 billion a year in this country is spent on that. So getting underneath that and understanding that can have a significant economic impact to the tune of about $300 billion annually.
Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so would you say that your book is basically written and is most effective for leaders, CEOs, or really could it be for anybody in an executive position?
It's a great question. I really think that anyone who influences other people would benefit from reading the book because it's written for entrepreneurs, CEOs, people who run nonprofits, people who run groups and organizations to understand and appreciate that each one of us is a leader in our own way. And we influence many people throughout our days and throughout our lives. And therefore, understanding and appreciating what we can do to change and impact that positively, to produce breakthrough results, is really valuable.
Okay, so what are some of the methods that we have to use to get these breakthrough results?
Yeah, so basically what I've done is I've created 21 powerful principles. And roughly half of the principles are about breaking through the barriers. Those are the barriers that each one of us has because we've lived a life. And we've developed certain barriers, and it's learning how to break through those barriers in the beginning half of the book. And then the second half of the book is learning how to access the true, authentic leader that's already there inside of us, but that we don't typically access.
Okay, so first tell me an example of how somebody would break through those barriers. Do they have to, I'm assuming they'd have to recognize that there is a barrier to begin with.
Exactly. The first thing is that most of us are not aware of a barrier. So let me give you an example. So an example of a barrier would be that, let's say you go into a meeting and there are a lot of people in the meeting and everybody's got a point of view, and so it gets kind of contentious. People are arguing about their points of view.
Like
I'm right, you're right. Yeah, most meetings, right? Most of us have been in meetings like that. So basically what ends up happening is that the person who's running the meeting may come in and not really know what to do with all of that reactive energy. People are very reactive. When their emotions are running high, they're not actually really able to stop.
True.
So the principle that I want to focus on is called the power of stopping. And it's a muscle that can be developed and exercised just like you develop a muscle at the gym. You start small and you learn about what happens when I stop. What happens when I can become the witness of what I see around me that I don't react to, that I don't jump into, immediately take a position on? So while you're washing the dishes or while you're walking the dog, you can practice what happens when you actually stop, take a few deep breaths, and then simply observe what happens when you stop.
What happens?
Typically, people begin to see and experience things very, very differently, and they begin to know what it is that they need to do in that moment, what they need to say. And that will enable them to run a meeting very differently and to remove themselves from that reactive, chaotic, emotionally charged state.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop now and not say any more. But I will say that, Susan Freeman, thank you very much. You can pick up Step Up Now where books are sold. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Very interesting. Cindy, over to you.